two American warships just sailed into one of the most dangerous stretches of water on the planet. No coordination with Iran, no permission asked. And the moment they crossed through, Iran got on the radio and said three words that stopped the world. This is the last warning. This is what happened inside the Strait of Hormuz on April 11th, 2026. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed. That 21-mile-wide passage between Iran and Oman, the one through which roughly a fifth of the world's oil normally flows, has been blocked for weeks. Iran shut it down. And to make sure it stayed shut, the IRGC, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, did something that hasn't been seen in decades. They laid sea mines across it. Not just a few. Enough to make any captain think twice before even attempting to cross. The result? Hundreds of ships stranded, oil supertankers anchored and waiting, energy prices spiking, shipping insurance for a single transit jumping to levels no commercial operator can justify, the world's most important waterway silent. Iran also began demanding ships pay a toll of up to $2 million per crossing just to pass safely. Officials estimated that system could funnel close to $100 billion a year directly into the IRGC, the very organization that controls Iran's missile arsenal. The US called that completely unacceptable. Analysts said clearly an end to the conflict that left Iran in control of Hormuz would be seen as a strategic failure, not just for America, but for global trade itself. Something had to give. On Saturday, April 11, 2026, US Central Command made its move. Two Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers quietly approached the strait. The USS Frank E. Peterson, hull number DDG-121, and the USS Michael Murphy, DDG-11212. Both are among the most capable surface combat ships the US Navy operates. Armed with Tomahawk cruise missiles, advanced radar systems, anti-submarine weapons, and close-range defense systems designed to intercept incoming drones and missiles, they crossed into the Strait of Hormuz. And they kept going, all the way through to the Arabian Gulf on the other side. But here's the detail that made military observers around the world sit up straight. As they crossed, the ships turned on their AIS, their automatic identification system. It's the transponder that broadcasts a vessel's exact position to every ship, satellite, and tracking service in the region. In normal operations, US Navy warships sail with their AIS off. It's standard operational security. You don't broadcast where you are, but on April 11th, they turned it on. Every civilian ship in the area could see them. Every tracking service in the world logged them. The signal was unmistakable. Salvatore Mercoliano, a professor at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy who specializes in military and maritime history, said it plainly on his podcast. You just don't throw IS on by accident on a Navy ship. This is purposeful. They wanted to turn this on the far side of the Strait of Hormuz to demonstrate that they have sailed through. The US wasn't just crossing the strait. They were making sure the whole world knew they crossed it. The IRGC responded immediately. A civilian ship in the area had its radio on. What it recorded was later shared with the Wall Street Journal, and it is one of the most tense exchanges in this entire conflict. The IRGC broadcast over radio to the approaching destroyers. "This is the last warning. This is the last warning," the American ship replied calmly. "Passage in accordance with international law. No challenge is intended to you, and I intend to abide by rules of our government. Ceasefire." Then, the IRGC launched a drone in the direction of the destroyers. Iranian state media immediately reported that the American ships had turned around after being confronted. The IRGC claimed victory. A senior Iranian military spokesperson went on state television and said, "The claim by the CENTCOM commander regarding the approach and entry of American vessels into the Strait of Hormuz is strongly denied." The Iranian military spokesperson then added, "The initiative for the passage and movement of any vessel is in the hands of the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran." Meanwhile, US Central Command told a completely different story. According to CENTCOM, both destroyers successfully transited the strait, operated inside the Arabian Gulf, and then made their way back through to the Arabian Sea. A US official confirmed the ships crossed from east to west and returned, completing a full transit. 3 US officials confirmed this to the Wall Street Journal. 2 completely opposite versions of the same event. Both sides claiming control of the same stretch of water. That tension, that exact contradiction, is where the world sits right now. US Central Command was clear about the purpose of the crossing. This was not a combat operation. This was the beginning of a mine-clearing mission. The official statement from CENTCOM read that the 2 destroyers transited the Strait of Hormuz as part of a broader mission to ensure the strait is fully clear of sea mines previously laid by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of US Central Command, released a statement alongside the crossing. Today, we began the process of establishing a new passage, and we will share this safe pathway with the maritime industry soon to encourage the free flow of commerce. The goal is to map out a safe lane through the mined waters, one that can eventually be shared publicly with the global shipping industry so tankers and cargo vessels can move through without needing Iran's permission and without paying Iran's tolls. CENTCOM also confirmed that additional US forces are coming. Underwater drones, specialized unmanned systems designed for mine detection and neutralization, will join the mission. 7 additional guided missile destroyers are operating in the Arabian Sea. The Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group, carrying a full Marine Expeditionary Unit, is also in the area. On his Truth Social accounts, President Trump wrote, "We're now starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz as a favor to countries all over the world, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others." He also stated that all 28 of Iran's mine-laying boats have been sunk. Iran called that claim fake news. Here is what makes April 11th uniquely significant. While the destroyers were crossing the strait, US and Iranian negotiators were sitting across from each other in Islamabad, Pakistan, in the highest-level direct talks between the 2 countries since 1979. Vice President J.D. Vance led the American delegation. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi led the Iranian side. Pakistani officials served as mediators, with Army Chief Asim Munir in the room. The crossing happened while those talks were live, and the status of the Strait of Hormuz was reportedly the central point of serious disagreement in the room. Iran says it must maintain leverage over the strait in any final deal. The US says that is completely off the table. After more than 21 hours of talks, VP Vance walked out and stood at a press conference. He said the United States had given Iran its final and best offer. Iran had refused it. "This is bad news for Iran, much more than it's bad news for the United States of America," he said. "The talks collapsed. The ceasefire remains fragile. And as of right now, the strait is still contested, with American warships inside it and Iran vowing a strong response to any military vessel that passes without permission. So here is where things actually stand. 2 American destroyers crossed the Strait of Hormuz on April 11, 2026. The US says the mission is underway. Iran says it never happened. 3 oil supertankers moved through the waterway the same day, the largest oil movement through Hormuz since it was closed. A mine-clearing operation has officially begun. Underwater drones are on the way. A safe passage is being mapped for the shipping industry, and in Islamabad, the talks that were supposed to end this failed. The IRGC said it was the last warning. US Central Command said it was just the beginning. The Strait of Hormuz is 21 miles wide, and right now, every one of those miles is being contested.